Howdy. Today, we will be taking a look at Haslab Robots in Disguise, Optimus Prime, and Haslab Robots in Disguise, Ultra Magnus, and Haslab Robots in Disguise, Bluebolts, and Haslab Robots in Disguise, Cerebros. This set was the fourth funded Transformers Haslab set celebrating the 40th anniversary of the Transformers franchise. This set comes with 2 combinable global space bridge pieces, 2 figure stands that slot into the global space bridge, 1 blaster for Optimus Prime, 2 missiles for Bluebolts, 2 stand adapters for the aforementioned stands, and 1 giant 2-foot-long sword that I forgot to include in this clip because it's 2 feet long. Starting with our last-minute addition to the set, this Cerebros looks really good. The paint is exceptionally well done. Now, I've got good eyes, but I really can't tell if the eyes are painted or not. I don't think they are, but that doesn't change the fact that the paint separation they were able to achieve at this scale is fantastic. Here's how Cerebros looks in head mode on Grand Transtector from the Takaratomi Grand Maximus set, and again, it looks really good. Moving around to the back of the head, they did a really good job on the color matching for the red painted arms and the red molded plastic legs. I'm actually not entirely sure why they painted the arms red, because it's not like there's any color difference like there is on the Grand Headmaster from the Grand Maximus set. Anywho, what's interesting about this is they did an exceptional job for such a last-minute addition, and it makes you really kind of wish that they ended up making an RID Fortress Maximus. Or Brave Maximus? I don't know, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't watch RID. Alright, let's get into some of the real stuff. In his base robot mode, oh man, this Optimus is such a good figure. This figure is covered from head to toe in amazing mechanical details. They did a really nice job updating the sculpt and not just making it look like the original one. And the articulation, I mean, come on. If you don't buy this figure for any other reason, buy it for the articulation, because they did such a great job updating it. Alright, you can see on the feet it's still limited, right? But this isn't a masterpiece figure, right? It's designed to fit in with mainline, and it does look fantastic. You get some amazing joints that we never would have seen on the original figure. One of my only complaints, and you will hear me talk about this a couple times, is the fact that it has a below-the-knee swivel and a thigh swivel. This is only really a problem when you have the knees in line with the thighs in line with the calf, but it's not my favorite thing, right? But still, this figure is totally awesome, and it's done really, really well. Now, quickly addressing the elephant in the room, mine didn't have the crack in the torso until I finished filming this video. And I don't have a video of it, but it's not bad. And so I did end up cracking the torso open and sanding down that gray block just like everybody else did. And I will let you know if anything happens. Spoilers, nothing should happen, because honestly, I don't think I'm really going to be touching this toy ever again. Here's how Haslab Robots in Disguise Optimus Prime scales with Deluxe Class Deep Cover, Voyager Class Sweep, and Leader Class Grimlock. Here's how Haslab Robots in Disguise Optimus Prime scales with Legacy Armada Optimus Prime and the original RID 2001 Optimus Prime. In his super mode, Optimus Prime looks just as good as I thought he would. This is, once again, a perfect reimagining of the original figure, and it's really cool to think that the original designer of this figure also worked on this new one, right? You can see that there's been a ton of detail added, a ton of paint added. You can still see the rocket launchers molded on the inside of the feet. It's just, this is such a cool figure, and the articulation is so much better. It looks a lot more cohesive than the original one, although credit where credit's due, the original one did look pretty cohesive. One of the biggest problems I have with it is the ladder. It's so sad to see that they couldn't paint the entire ladder in the same silver color that they painted the end of the ladder with, right? It looks amazing, and it's just, it makes it kind of strange that they couldn't just paint the ladder silver, right? We're already paying a ton of money to have this thing. Why can't we just get a little bit of extra paint on it, you know what I'm saying? But I digress. This figure looks awesome. Also, the hands, I get it. It's not a masterpiece figure, although even the masterpiece figures aren't even getting articulated fingers, but I wish these hands had articulated fingers, because that would really kind of complete the set. Here's how Haslab Robots in Disguise Optimus Prime in Super Mode scales with Deluxe Class Deep Cover, Voyager Class Sweep, and Leader Class Grimlock. Here's how Haslab Robots in Disguise Optimus Prime in Super Mode scales with Legacy Armada Optimus Prime in Super Mode and the original RID 2001 Optimus Prime in Super Mode. A lot of Super Mode going on here. Also, can I just say that seeing Legacy Armada Optimus Prime and Haslab RID Optimus Prime next to each other like this is like one of the coolest things I've ever seen from just like Hasbro mainline products. Now, one of the things I love about this Haslab set is that they gave their accessories robot modes. Okay, on a serious note, like, these two are really well done. First off, Ultra Magnus, like, round of applause for this guy for the greatest glow-up of all time. Yes, as we turn around to the back of the figure, you're gonna see the legs are still as hollow as ever, but man, can this guy hold a pose now. And that's so cool to see because, like, he's his own figure, right? And as much as he was designed to be the token armor for Optimus Prime and RID, this figure does look really, really good. And Bluebolts is cool too. I mean, he's a weaponizer. There's only so much I can say about him. But the paint is super well done on both of these figures. Again, the details are fantastic. In all honesty, I love the fact that they turned Bluebolts from just some weapon that plugs onto something in some part of robot mode into an actual character, an actual robot. I think that's awesome. And yeah, you can see a little bit of spoilers there, but that vacuum metallized armor, oh, it's so good. It's just so good. Oh, and also, no more rubber tires. Like, it's cool, but they don't crack anymore. They're not going to crack anymore. So, at least we got some new updated tires on this. Yeah, there's still, again, it was made by the same designer, right? So there are still some hollow bits carried over from the original figure, but it still looks so, so much better. Here's how Haslab Robots in Disguise Bluebolts and Ultra Magnus scale with Deluxe Class Deep Cover, Voyager Class Sweep, and Leader Class Grimlock. Here's how Haslab Robots in Disguise Ultra Magnus scales with the original 2001 RID Ultra Magnus. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, here is Haslab Omega Prime. And man, what an awesome set this is. First off, the modern updates to this figure make it such a fun figure to play with because it feels like a figure. This doesn't feel like a figure with another figure strapped on top of it and another figure to go on top holding some big 2-foot long stick. Okay, maybe the sword is a little bit of a pain to actually get in a good dynamic stance, but this figure looks so awesome. The pieces hold together really well, and they get some amazing articulation despite the amount of mass this figure has. Now, I must apologize for the weird perspective. This is at 5x zoom across my studio because this figure is big and this sword is bigger, right? I had this really cool idea for the kind of pose I wanted him in, but the sword would have been flying around my studio if I would have put him in that pose. So you're gonna have to settle with this, but it's so cool, right? And again, thank you, Hasbro, for vac metalizing this chess piece because it is glorious. This thing I have taken so much care not to touch with my bare fingers because no matter how many times I wash my hands, you know you're always gonna get oil on these beautifully shiny parts. The only thing I have an issue with, because there's always one thing, are the wings, right? As far as I can tell, the wings don't tab in, so you just kind of have to hold them in position. They hold for now. We'll see how long that lasts, but this figure just looks so freaking good. And honestly, I don't hate that this was the 4th Haslab because this is really, really satisfying, and I'm not going to be selling this one. Because yes, I did sell Star Saber and Death Source. Here's how Haslab Robots in Disguise Omega Prime scales with Deluxe Class Deep Cover, Voyager Class Sweep, and Leader Class Grimlock. Here's how Haslab Robots in Disguise Omega Prime scales with Commander Class Legacy Armada Optimus Prime in Super Mode, and the original 2001 RID Omega Prime. In his vehicle mode, Optimus Prime is... Hold on, I'm just gonna read this straight off TF Wiki. A made-up turntable ladder truck resembling a 3-axle first-generation Hinomorita Super Gyro Ladder MH fire truck. Whew. In his vehicle mode, all of the epic additions that they made in robot mode also carry over here. And we also get to see the Cybertron, and I presume this is Japanese writing on the side. Although, again, I didn't watch Car Robots or Robots in Disguise. I'm not an expert. But I like the fact that they have, like, sculpted seats behind the windows, too. I think that's a cute little addition. But, again, all these sculpted details really kind of add to how this fire truck looks. And this ladder, man, this thing is ginormous. I've got my camera pretty far away from my setup here, and this isn't even the ladder extended, right? This thing gets long. And those missiles, the pods can flip out, but it doesn't shoot any of the missiles. I know, shocker, right? Nowadays we're not getting spring-loaded missiles, but I wish there were some improvements that we could have seen to this. I know that it's supposed to be a very faithful modernization of the original toy, but I wish there was a way to, make the head disappear and so it's not, sticking out, and there were some ways to cover down on the back of the cab so it doesn't look like his fists are just kind of sitting there. But otherwise, this vehicle mode is actually really cool, and it's cool to see some play features on a toy that's this expensive. Like sticking the Titan Masters or Headmasters or whatever they want to call them nowadays in the little seat at the base of the ladder or all the way up at the top of the cage. It's just really cool, and I think this vehicle mode looks really good. Here's how Haslab Robots in Disguise Optimus Prime scales with Deluxe Class Deep Cover, Voyager Class Artfire, Leader Class Laser Optimus Prime, and Commander Class Legacy Armada Optimus Prime. In his vehicle mode... Yeah, wait, hold on. I know I didn't film the Ultra Magnus vehicle intro. I forgot. Listen, there was a lot of transforming that went into making this video. Anyways, in his vehicle mode, Ultra Magnus looks awesome. The chest piece as the front bumper, again, looks fantastic. They do a great job of hiding that red plastic that make up the shoulder pauldrons for Omega Prime. And... yeah, again, this is basically just the original toy modernized, right? And so you can fit a couple cars on top and at least one in the back. One of the things that's kind of surprising is they removed the giant Autobot logos on the sides of the car carrier, which I feel like kind of added a little bit of, spice to the otherwise just kind of gray plastic rigid looking scaffolding that they just have running along the sides. So I think that was kind of a strange choice to make. Also, the side windows on the cab are painted blue. I understand why they did this, but it doesn't change the fact that it's just kind of unusual how he has 4 transparent blue windows and then the door windows are just like solid blue. It's a little unusual, but again, at the end of the day, if you are going to put this in vehicle mode, I'm sure you'll be happy with it. Though I imagine not a lot of people will. It's the same reason why I'm not filming the base mode for Optimus Prime. I don't imagine a lot of people will be putting him in base mode. But here's Ultra Magnus. He looks cool. Bluebolts looks just as cool in weapon mode. Here's how Haslab Robots in Disguise Ultra Magnus scales with Deluxe Class Deep Cover, Voyager Class Artfire, Leader Class Laser Optimus Prime, and Commander Class Legacy Armada Optimus Prime. I hope you've enjoyed this brief look at the Haslab Robots in Disguise Omega Prime. I apologize if this video seems a bit lackluster and a bit late on the release of this figure. I've been pretty busy lately with various things, some of which will be coming soon to this channel, so keep an eye out for that. I bought this figure during the original funding campaign for this Haslab. Good luck on the aftermarket if you want to buy it now. If there are any other figures you'd like me to take a look at next, leave a comment down below. And as always, I'm Leo, reminding you that plastic toys don't belong in plastic prisons. See you next time. Here's how Cerebros looks in head mode on Grand Transtector from the Takara Tovi. In his super mode, Optimus Prime looks just as good as I hoped he would. This figure is, once again, a perfect a made-up turntable ladder truck resembling a three-axis